Hey there folks, I'm Serious JG and welcome to a new Let's Play. We are going to Let's Play Final Fantasy XIII-2. Now, it's a little strange that I'm doing a Final Fantasy XIII-2 Let's Play right now, especially because I'm right in the middle of Let's Playing Final Fantasy XII, the Zodiac Brave story, and in addition to that, I've got other LPs that I should be getting back to, and blah, blah, blah. It's just kind of weird that I'm doing this, but similar to the Final Fantasy XII Zodiac Brave story, it's just, I got on this, like, wild hair that I really wanted to Let's Play this game, and I'll explain why in just a moment. I'm actually trying to get my timer vid that I usually use. This is not a great start to this LP. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, I'll kind of explain as we go, but thank you for not being muted, laptop. And thank you for not being down the sound on my television. Wow, I'm just really not prepared to just have an LP starting right now. But yeah, I've been thinking in the background about doing this LP since we finished Final Fantasy XIII. An LP I know at least one of my regular viewers started and couldn't finish because they thought Final Fantasy XIII was so freaking terrible. But I actually had a lot of fun Let's playing Final Fantasy XIII because I got to make fun of it a lot. And I expect that this game will be fairly similar. So first of all, let's watch the intro where we see the new sexed up Lightning-ish. They just have her in this costume where you can see her butt cheek on one side really well if the camera's angled the right way. And those of you familiar with the story of Final Fantasy XIII might wonder just what the hell is happening right now and where we're supposed to be. And this is kind of gradually revealed over the course of the game, but as confusing as the story of Final Fantasy XIII was, Final Fantasy XIII-2's story is probably even more confusing, and then by the time you try to... But it does at least link in better with Final Fantasy XIII Lightning Returns, the third and final game in this series. 2 and 3 kind of link together more than either of them links to 1, it seems like, but certainly none of them make sense. This character in particular is going to be at the center of hugely confusing. I never know what the hell is going on when this character appears on screen. But I guess we don't have to worry about it because she's gone. So we'll never be seeing her again. And here, like, freaking David Lee Roth is going to be kind of a weird character in this, too. But you can see he's pretty pissed. He's kind of Lou-booing here. His girlfriend turned into shiny sparklies. Fireflies, and as a result, he is going to lead an army of Insecticons against Lightning and her army of feathers. And I'm not sure if we should be watching this intro scene because I feel like 99% of it is about to play out in front of us as soon as we do hit start and begin the game. But this is something I talked about in LP videos before. The need of video games to have lengthy preview movies of the kind of stuff you would show in a commercial. And it's like, we've already bought the game, why are you trying to sell it to us? And the only possible thing that makes any sense is that, and I think by the Xbox 360 this is kind of going away. I guess people still rent games. I don't feel like people rent games that much anymore. Because this is an Xbox 360 version of the game I'm playing. I do not believe that, like, Blockbuster Video had gone out of business by this point. I believe you could still go into a video store and rent PS4 or PS3 and Xbox 360 games at this point. But it's kind of on the tail end of those retail franchises existing. I haven't seen a Gamefly ad in a long time. I don't know if they're even still in business. But yeah, why would you be watching... Why would you program in this teaser excitement video when I'm watching it out of a sense of obligation as part of the LP? I suppose I could be giving them zany dialogue. So, are we doing like a Norse gods thing? What's going on? And neither of those two characters you're seeing in that little logo are the two characters that we saw fighting. So there you go. Now we can actually begin a new game. But just real briefly before we do, the backstory on why I'm playing this now. I found... I think I'll put it on this screen so it doesn't go to the previews. I've found in my recommended videos Spoony and his review of Final Fantasy XIII. Spoony, a.k.a. Noah Antweiler, is one of those YouTube personalities. He's apparently kind of like disappeared off the face of the earth, and people who really follow the stories of their early YouTube content maker guys, he's like considered a tragic story of somebody who was really popular and is now just kind of faded. But he did a video, like, you know, a solid hour, 90 minutes or 2 hours. It was a long video just making fun of Final Fantasy XIII, and I found it really amusing. But I also did think some of what he was saying was slightly unfair, I thought. And what it triggered me to do, and this is not something I regularly do, I have actually gone back and started watching my own Let's Play of Final Fantasy XIII, which I don't usually go back and watch my own Let's Plays. That's actually very unusual. You can count on one hand the number of my own Let's Plays I've gone back and watched after they were recorded. But I ended up going back and watching my own Let's Play of Final Fantasy XIII. I'm about halfway through it. Just, you know, I can even listen to it in the car without the visuals, because what I enjoy about the game is making fun of the plot dialogue scenes, and that game has quite a few of them compared to Final Fantasy XII. So this is like the evil opposite of Final Fantasy XII, in that there's lots and lots of silly dialogue and relatively little gameplay, comparatively speaking. And so that's why I just got on this kick that I wanted to play Final Fantasy XIII-2. So hopefully having this and Final Fantasy XII going at the same time. Damn it. I thought I could stay on that screen without getting sent to here. But no, I don't want to continue. Shoot. No, back. I want to start a new game. But yeah, that's kind of why I thought I could actually play this game now. And I figure if I have this and Final Fantasy XII going at the same time, the people who want to watch both can watch both, and anybody who's only going to watch one or the other, they'll both upload a little slower now, so it'll be easier for people to keep current. Because I have had people kind of complain before that a video a day of a series is sometimes it's difficult to keep up. Other people complain that it's not coming out fast enough. What can you do? So we're going to start on normal mode. I do have a slot that we're going to be loading from where and we'll get some bonus crap because we have Final Fantasy XIII save data. But I do have, and we'll start a new save slot. I do have some save data we'll be loading from, because the other night while watching my own Final Fantasy XIII LP, I was grinding to get, kind of off to an early start with this. Final Fantasy XIII-2 will automatically save your progress. During autosave, an icon will appear in the top left corner. You can also save your game manually. Press Start to open the pause menu and select Save. You cannot save at points in the game when this option is not displayed. Do not turn off the power or remove storage devices while the save icon is being displayed. Now let's watch the preview again, for all intents and purposes. Only this time there will be sound. And lots of wistful narration from Lightning. Lightning, by the way, is...
That time was lost,
I'll tell you later.
Continued onward.
Great opening line. Really tells us a lot of what's going on. Kind of sets the stage. What the hell's going on is kind of none of your business.
Divine Etro, go peacefully to your rest. I will stand guard over your legacy.
And about 20 hours in, we may find out what Etro actually is. There you go, you got a little bit of thigh there.
This endless realm is awash with sadness.
Profound sadness.
Life and death lose all meaning under the rolling waves of chaos.
Well, except that there's no one alive here.
The currents of time do not touch its shores.
Its many ornate buildings serve no purpose because there are no people here. Well, except maybe this guy.
In this world of lost moments, I begin my life anew.
Even though I just said life and death are both meaningless here.
Fake platitudes.
If life and death are meaningless here, does that mean my girlfriend's about to turn into a bunch of sparkles? Let's find out together, folks.
When there's lightning, you know it always gets me down.
Finally, somebody wearing a diaphanous unitop.
It was never your desire. Is that not so?
Yule, what do you desire? He's mad now. And his anger summons insecticons. I think it's funny that I summon demons. I guess there are people who live here, but they're Snow's robot motorcycle chicks with a palette swab version. Alright, so it's a big throwdown between various monsters. The Shiva sisters are gonna get choked out. Embrace the terror of being beaten up. I like his headband, though.
Husk of the wandering comet, I summon thee!
So he's got Meteo? Is that what this is? It took him a lot less time to get it than it seemed to take Sephiroth. Anyway, gonna drop a meteor on you. Are those? But he's blowing up his own troops. It's like Rufus T. Firefly. Well, the actual big old meteor that I thought was going to destroy everything doesn't seem to be falling, but...
Oh man, I hope that's the Axis blade I got in the last game. That gave me an ATB gauge charge boost.
Does that name mean... Is that who I am? Help me out here. Oh, good. She stopped the meteor, maybe?
Impressive.
If you did what I think you did.
Save it.
Don't tell me I'm impressive till after I kicked your ass.
Oh, that's the game we're playing. Thank you.
Damn you.
I hate you.
Enough.
Cuss.
Let's end this.
Poke me in my glowing nipple.
That glow.
Cast your shadow over all.
Are you telling her to do that? He's a chatty kind of villain, isn't he? You have to assume he's the villain because he's fighting lightning. That's right, my glowing nipples have turned me into a monster. And now can we know what's going on? What's going on is none of our business.
Odin!
Sleep! Odin, sleep!
Riff tracks reference, essentially. Hey, cool. Active time battle tutorial. I'll take all the tutorials on screen just so you guys can have some notion of what's going on. At least in terms of gameplay, certainly not in terms of story. Time does not stop during battle. The ATB gauge charges continuously over time. By the way, I'll kind of give you guys a refresher on what the story of the last game was when we get through this kind of prologue chapter here and get to the main game. Because despite the fact that lightning is the only character appearing on the cover art for this game. This prologue is the only time you play as Lightning for this entire game. So she is kind of central to the story, but is not who you actually play as, which might be part of the reason why Final Fantasy XIII-3 is actually known as Final Fantasy Lightning Returns, because I think they were like, no, this time you get to play as Lightning, for real. But anyway, time does not stop during battle. The ATB gauge charges continuously over time. Oh. Characters perform abilities in battle by expending segments of the ATB gauge. The abilities command allows you to select specific abilities you wish to perform. You can queue up multiple commands of the ATB gauge. Auto battle automatically set optimal commands. Ability manually sets commands. So this is, in fact, Final Fantasy XIII's system again. There are some switches and changes they make. I find the gameplay of this is actually a lot more interesting than Final Fantasy XIII, but it is essentially auto battle again, switch paradigms, but mostly commands are auto commands. Select auto battle to set commands automatically. Use blah blah to set the cursor to auto battle and confirm with A. Lightning has been set twice. Lightning strike. The expended amount of the ATB gauge differs with each attack. When HP is low, use Ulra's Shield, a restoration command. Select a target to attack. When fighting multiple foes, use directional buttons to select a target and press the E button to confirm. There is only one foe in this instance. Press A to unleash the lightning strike command twice. Continue something. I thought it was done. It said something about good luck. Anyway, the prologue battles are kind of unlosable unless, like, you could probably intentionally not heal. But if you get, like, even 3/4 stamina full, its auto command starts suggesting the healing command that you've got. And I would imagine if you do lose, you just get the game over retry screen. I can't imagine that's going to give you something that's worth seeing. But here's Chaos Bahamut. Considering how scary and badass he looks, he's kind of sucking right now.
Not kidding around, huh?
No, he's kidding around. He's having fun. See, I got Ulra's Shield. Like, I really wasn't in that much trouble.
Can you handle this?
Can't you handle it? Can you handle it? Can you handle it?
Be my shield.
And the whole thing with staggering, stagger gauge and staggering opponents, that's back in this game, although they don't bother to introduce it till after this prologue. Pew pew. She's got her little pew pew attack. It's gonna give me all. Okay, good. Really don't want to do Ulra's Shield again. It's just a waste of time at this point.
Now.
And I don't even get a battle rating for this, as far as I know. Battle ratings of 0 through 5 stars is back as well. Gameplay-wise, it's very similar to the last game. It's much less linear in terms of where you go and how you progress in the game, but the combat is pretty much the same engine.
Come on then.
Come on then, let's be non-linear.
Cinematic. Oh yeah, this is bad. This is the thing that's annoying. It's like wet all over again. Generally, if you miss those, you lose out on bonus loots. I think you still win the fights. Although some of the fights, it's like Ninja Gaiden style, where if you do the cinematic inputs wrong, you get kicked out and have to deal a certain amount more damage before trying it again. And you must eventually get the cinematic inputs right to win the fight. But that didn't really explain that. I can imagine the first time you're playing the game, you're just like, wait, what the fuck? Sorry, I gotta go to the far plane, check on Orin.
Why do you have to do that?
Huh. And then it leaves without answering. I'm back to being human.
Right.
Left.
Let's not waste time.
Let's kiss right away. Let's make out on the first date. pressing the wrong button. Oh, interesting.
So weak.
I didn't anticipate doing that, failing on that one. I don't really know what happens. I played this the other night. Like I said, I was leveling up. The only difference is that he doesn't say, oh, weak. If you do it correctly, he doesn't say so weak.
Bend to my will.
Goddess made a great choice in having the powers of chaos bend to my will. I guess. I got some glamour shots of her butt there.
Keeping up?
So you want to destroy everything?
Oblivion is the fate of all things.
I don't know if this is different because I failed that cinematic action. I just didn't remember which button was X. Oh, now it's like you choose one or the other to do. Again, they do like showing her butt in this game. Gun. I guess he doesn't give a crap about guns. Yeah, he told me I was weak and pathetic, which I don't think I got last time. So apparently, well, A, I just flat out failed one of them, but B, ruined guy.
Let's end this. You're done.
Not today.
With a not particularly exciting attack.
See, I just have to actually stop and look at the controller because I'm playing PlayStation 4. Now I'm back to an Xbox controller for this. Who's this
Is
punk?
that all you have?
You're finished, Caius.
So he's going to survive either way, but if I had failed that, he would have survived and then said, "You suck." What a pussy. Oh, wait, no, I didn't mean it like that.
Oh, cool. He's gonna get crushed. It's awesome.
Etro's Gate.
Does that mean something to you? Because it doesn't mean anything to me. Oh, look like Etro's coming back.
Of course. The one from the vision.
Kyros visions of power.
I know your name.
Well, that's nice. Are we allowed to know?
Noel Kreis.
Thank you.
I'm pulling stuff out of my chest to show sincerity.
Oh, so she summoned Odin again. Apparently she just gets to do that whenever she feels like it now. Was it even Odin? And that guy just gets to turn into Chaos Bomb whenever he feels like it. Ooh. It's all very pretty, but, like, no idea what's going on. I feel kind of like Noel Kreis.
I'm here.
I'm queer. Get used to me.
Where am I?
Valhalla.
What?
You prayed for a miracle, and that brought you here. Or am I wrong?
How did you know?
I think you're wrong.
From Valhalla, I can see everything.
So I can even see you in the toilet.
But who are you?
Lightning.
But call me Light. But only if you're Hope.
Yeah, that was a thing from Final Fantasy XIII. Never mind. Oh, cool. More of this.
Time for a real fight.
Although this one also is pretty much unlosable. Unless he starts screwing up the cinematic actions. What a loser.
Look out! Here it comes!
You're ready for cinematic action, probably.
What now?
Gonna get worse.
Before we get to Final Fantasy XIII, where it really tanks. 13-3. Final Fantasy 13-3 is actually a really strange game.
Down with you.
Which I'll probably get around to eventually. It's a lot more likely now that I finally jumped on to do this. Oh, Mega Flare. Oh, War's Benediction. So yeah, it's all auto battle all the time. Once you start having multiple party members, it gets a little bit more complicated, but... I'd like to know how this guy got to become Bahamut. Or maybe I'm looking at it wrong. Maybe this is Bahamut and his purple-haired Caius Baltar, whatever his name is, form is just... is not his real self. It's like, his real self is this thing. Either way, we're flying around this, like, fancy log flume ride, whatever it is. I feel like this is taking me longer than it did when I wasn't recording, but... Either way, they set it up so that you always get 5 stars. But there's no battle spoils anyway, so who cares? It would be nice if we actually got to the main character before the first video was over. I don't feel like I talked for that long before we started playing.
Away, sword. Everybody have a chance to check out my awesome new outfit?
This is not your battle. There's something else I need you to do.
Stop sneezing.
What?
Bring my sister to me. Her name is Sarah.
She lives with Stud.
Okay.
How come OK didn't get a subtitle?
You'll need to use the portal. Your time-gazing friend should have told you how it works.
My time-gazing friend?
But why me?
Well, you're the only other person here.
Because you're the only one who can. You crossed the void and made it to Valhalla.
Then you crossed Valhalla and made it to the void.
And together you can change the future.
You must become Stud.
Sarah and Stud.
I can change the
Stud and
future.
Sarah.
Yes.
Yes. Here's a little firework for some reason.
Oh, God. There we go. Now this game's really gonna suck.
Give him to Sarah.
Sorry, Mookie Mog.
Right. You got it. I'll track her down.
As long as it doesn't start turning back into a Koopo, whatever, Mozel, I guess. A Koopo. I thought he was a Pokemon. Yeah, we are. Thanks. You want to join us? We have a little discussion salon. Apparently he's not here to be friends with Noel.
I'm counting on you.
Get to the chopper.
Go! Not this again.
I'm really sick of this crap.
Odin!
Whoa, am I
Do it!
my back or not? Was I what you were flying around on? I don't know what's going on.
What the?
Look, what? I have to be ready to call it a video when this cinematic ends, so while it's loading the next one, we can actually play.
Stud. No.
Yeah, I guess Noel is Stud, for all intents and purposes, because he's going to spend the entire game hanging out with Sarah. Final
My
Fantasy
hopes go
XIII-3.
with you.
I mean,
Noel Christ.
the Zodiac Brave, sorry.
Become an arrow through time and speed your way to Sarah.
Sure thing! No problem, boss. Anyway, folks, I'm going to call it a video. When we come back, we will actually pretty much teleport to Sarah. And I think I will open the next video by explaining what actually happened in Final Fantasy XIII because all of this weird shit with Lightning hanging around wearing armor and being a servant of Etro in Valhalla at the end of time, and none of that is going to get explained until way later in this game. But once we jump back to Sarah, things for Sarah kind of are picking up from where Final Fantasy XIII left off, which is why I'll use that as my cue to explain Final Fantasy XIII. Anyway, folks, I haven't really decided if I'm going to start posting these right away, if I'm going to record a bunch and have them in reserve, whatever. So there's every chance that as you watch and make comments, I will be ahead of what's actually public, and I do apologize. I know that brings a certain amount of irritation to some viewers who really want to see their comments responded to on screen. But all that being said, if you really, really, really don't want to see this game, and you're one of my regulars, well, it's probably too late now that I've started, but let me know, because you can always... People did seem interested in seeing Final Fantasy XIII-2 when I was finishing Final Fantasy XIII, and it's been an awfully long gap, but I'm hoping that for those of you who watched me play through that train wreck of this really pretty but confusing story, I'm hoping you'll enjoy this one too. Catch you guys next time.